Don't be fooled by this shabby little hat, beneath it hides top-tier business acumen. Meet Bernard, a young black boy working as a shoeshine. But take a closer look, he sets up shop intentionally in front of a bank. Why? His real customers aren't the ones paying for shoe shines. They're the rich white men talking about financial deals while they wait. Bernard works slowly, listening closely. As soon as they leave, he jots down every useful piece of financial information in his notebook. From a very young age, he's not chasing tips, he's chasing financial wisdom. His dream, to become a banker. But this is Texas, 1939, a place where black people face severe discrimination. His father warns him that such a dream is impossible. Yet Bernard's eyes burn with determination. 15 years later, Bernard moves to Los Angeles with his wife, Eunice, and their children. Though racism is still present, it's less brutal than back home. The family lives in a cramped utility room of a relative's house, but Bernard promises his wife that things will change. He starts working in real estate, and with keen observation, he notices a pattern: black communities are overcrowded, while white neighborhoods have empty homes. Black families have money and are ready to rent, but no one is meeting their needs. That's when Bernard spots a rundown, weed-covered apartment building right next to a black neighborhood. He sees what no one else sees: location potential. He approaches the white owner and makes a pitch. "You've only rented out half of it, why not sell it to me? I'll give you $30,000 now and another $5,000 once I rent all the rooms." The owner is impressed but hesitant to do business with a black man. Bernard expresses his understanding and decides to leave, but not before noticing a calendar on the table from a local bank manager. That sparks an idea in his mind. Bernard goes straight to the bank. The manager's secretary, clearly racist, refuses to let him in. So with no other option, he waits for hours until the manager finally comes out. Bernard stops him and makes his pitch. "I know one of your VIP clients, and the business I do will benefit him." But the manager refuses him without hesitation. That night, Bernard gets a call from the building owner. "Did you try using my name to get a loan?" Bernard apologizes. But instead of being angry, the owner respects Bernard's drive and agrees to guarantee the loan. With that, Bernard secures his first ever loan and buys the property. One day, an old white woman sees Bernard at the apartment and snaps, "What are you doing here?" Calmly, Bernard says, "Renovating the building." She barks back, "Workers like you should be careful." Unfazed, Bernard says, "Don't worry, I own the building." The woman calls the police. But Bernard had anticipated this. When the officers arrive, he calmly shows them the property certificate. Realizing he is indeed the owner, the police leave. That night, the same woman sees Bernard again and yells at him to leave. "This isn't renovation time," she says. Bernard replies, "I'm not the renovation worker. I'm the owner." Shocked, she moves out a few days later, unwilling to live in the same building as a black man. Bernard quickly rents her unit to a black tenant. As he predicted, demand soars. The building is soon fully rented, and Bernard pays the remaining amount to the former owner. Impressed, the owner offers to partner with him. They strike a smart deal. Bernard chooses properties and calculates income, and the owner, being white, handles negotiations with other white sellers. This way, no one knows a black man is behind the deals. Profits are split evenly. Their partnership flourishes. Soon Bernard and his family move to a mansion, and his life changes dramatically. He never retaliates when faced with racism. Instead, he plays by his own rules, with calm, strategy, and profit as the ultimate goal. But success brings new challenges. Years later, the old owner dies, and his racist wife inherits his shares. She offers to buy out Bernard's shares at an unfairly low price. If he refuses, she threatens to sue. In those days, courts almost always favored whites. Bernard stands his ground and looks for someone to testify to the legitimacy of his partnership. He thinks of the bank manager, but the man now sides with the widow and refuses to help. Frustrated, Bernard stands in the bank, staring at the walls. Every detail of the pristine building reminds him of the systematic discrimination he faces. Then, a bold idea takes root. The building houses 4 different banks, all of which once turned him away. So Bernard decides, "I'll buy this building and make them work for me." He meets with Joe, another successful black real estate developer. Joe thinks Bernard's idea is crazy. Land prices are sky high, and no black man has ever bought land in downtown LA. But Bernard lays out the plan: once he owns the building, banks will no longer deny him. They'll serve him, share inside real estate trends, and fuel his business. Joe is intrigued. He realizes that owning land where white banks operate isn't just symbolic, it's smart. But there's a problem: they still need a white face to close the deal. Bernard thinks of Matt, a white handyman who helped with renovations. Matt is honest, ambitious, and trainable. So, they mentor him, teaching golf, finance, etiquette, and deal-making. Soon, Matt fits the image of a promising young businessman. At a golf club, Matt meets the owner of the bank building, a meeting orchestrated by Joe. Things go smoothly, but Matt isn't experienced in negotiations. No problem, Bernard handles that. He studies the building, counts how many lights are on after dark to gauge occupancy, reviews revenue and expenses, and calculates its real value. He prepares every number Matt might need and drills them into him. When the owner bluffs during negotiations, Matt responds with the real numbers, leaving everyone stunned. The accountant is speechless. They think Matt is a financial genius. In the end, they get the $2.4 million building for just $1.56 million. Now, every bank president greets Bernard with a handshake. The same managers who once ignored him now serve him. Bernard and Joe's business expands rapidly. They break racial zoning barriers, helping black families move into better neighborhoods. Their success reaches new heights, and in 1963, Bernard visits Texas with his family. After dinner, his father talks to him about how proud he is of his success. The next day, Bernard goes out in the town with his son. While walking, they stop at the same bank where Bernard worked as a Shoshone boy. There, he sees a young shoeshine boy just like he once was, but the boy only shines shoes for white people. This touches Bernard deeply. He decides to help improve life for black people in his hometown. He tells Joe, "Let's buy a bank in Texas." Joe is shocked, it's the most racist place in America. But Bernard convinces him. They bring Matt back and plan their move. They approach Robert Florence Sr. and Jr., owners of the local bank. Despite Jr.'s suspicions, Sr. agrees to sell the bank. Once acquired, Bernard begins helping black families secure loans and housing. But Florence Jr. is watching. He uncovers the truth and threatens them with a Treasury Department audit. The group scrambles. Matt suggests they buy another bank to transfer the problematic loans. Bernard hesitates but agrees, with Eunice overseeing Matt's actions. Matt becomes the new bank's manager. But he gets reckless and bypasses proper protocols, unknowingly using a lawyer Florence Jr. planted. Soon, examiners find shady loans Florence planted. When the audit comes, Bernard disguises himself as a janitor to monitor the inspection. But it's too late. They're exposed. Florence Jr. gloats. The government moves to shut them down. Matt, feeling the pressure, meets with a senator who offers him immunity if he testifies against Bernard and Joe. Matt agrees. During the hearing, he betrays his partners and testifies against them. That night after the hearing, Bernard is also approached by the senator, who gives him an offer to agree with Matt's testimony, or he can say whatever he wants and go to jail. Bernard refuses to lie in exchange for freedom. Instead, he uses his time to speak openly about racism and injustice. After the trial, Bernard and Joe lose everything. Florence Jr. buys their bank at a discount. Matt walks away without a charge. Years later, Bernard and Joe leave prison smiling. Eunice is puzzled. Why are they happy? Joe reveals the truth. They own property in the Bahamas, mansions next to each other. It turned out before the hearing, Matt called Bernard and apologized and told him about the deal with the senator. Bernard, knowing the end was near, asked Matt for one final favor: move their assets offshore. Their fight may have cost them everything, but it wasn't for nothing. Their real estate empire helped break racial housing barriers, and they proved that even in the face of discrimination, vision, courage, and strategy can shake the system.